Dr. Carmen Smith, and before we get into the deep teaching today, like and subscribe, just put a thumbs up, and that's how the algorithm lets people know that it's available and it can be seen by other people. So be sure and like and subscribe. If you subscribe, there are so many videos that you'll get alerted to as soon as they pop up. And my goal is to let people know that this spiritual evolution that we're going through, it is much needed. We're right on time. Everything's working out great. So I want you to understand what's happening to you, the insights that you're getting, and the truths about the universe, metaphysics, frequency, vibration. And in this teaching, it's a deep teaching, and we're ready for it. So I've been teaching metaphysics for almost 30 years, and this is one of the best examples of how we draw situations to us based on our frequency and our vibration. Now, most people don't want to know about that. They want to just blame whatever happens to them on something, someone, some event. But that event is drawn to us based on our frequency and the teachings that we need to have at that moment. It's not that it's a punishment, and I don't want to look at it as karma, like you're getting punished. It's more like, here's a lesson that I want you to have. And the only way that I can see that you can get it is if I whisper in your ear, I talk at a normal voice, I shout, and then it's like, how much intensity do you need to have in your life in order to get that message? So, but it's all about learning, and we're all here to learn, experience, and grow and evolve. And so in my book, The I Am Solution, Simple Practices to Transform Fear Back to Love, I talk about fear because there's only two energies, fear and love. And so fear is something that is our trigger, and it gets us angry, and we get into those toxic emotions. So I talk a little bit about that here, and I think I use examples, metaphors, pictures, visualization so that you can really look at it and also apply it to your own life. So welcome to these deep teachings. So I'm asking you today, what wounds are you carrying around with you years later that you've never looked at to find the lesson that maybe you continue to tell other people to get sympathy? Maybe it's a story that you truly believe that you were done wrong and that you need to tell it to get that anger out. Well, let me tell you, that anger is like a trail clearing. So if you've ever been to the national parks or you've ever been on a hiking trail, you notice that the trails are well marked. You can see that they have dug around and maybe even put rocks on that trail so that other people can find that trail. That's exactly what you do every time you tell a victim story to yourself or to other people. You're making a trail in your brain and your consciousness and also in your vibrational energy. And you're putting out markers so that other victim experiences, other things that match that vibration will find their way into your life. By the same token, every time you tell an empowering story, yes, this happened, but I discovered the strength and love within myself. Yes, I had an alcoholic father, but it taught me how to love unconditionally. When you have those types of stories, when you rewrite that story, you're also setting up markers inside of your brain, and you continue to tell yourself these empowering stories, even though there's chaos around you. You've learned how to be the alchemist, the shapeshifter. and you shape it into something where you can lay out the markers for other wonderful, empowering, abundant things to find their way into your life, because you put out the sign that says, I am boldly living a new story. And wouldn't that be awesome if we could all do that? But mostly what you find is that people are living from their wounds. Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, talked about the walking wounded, that there are people that are just walking wounds, and everything you say is a wound to them. Even a look can be a wound, a trigger. And so people are triggered, and that anger is sparked, and what finds their way into their life and into the lives of those around them? Victimization, anger, the well-marked trail coming into their life because that's what they expect, because that's the story they've been told. So ask yourself, what wounds do I have? Because I've never changed my story. Am I the walking wounded? And oftentimes people are so unaware because they blame other people. It's their fault. She shouldn't have brought that up. Why is she doing this when she knows? All of that kind of stuff is a shield that keeps people from looking at their own wounds and their own stories about their wounds. And there are plenty of people that you can talk to that 10 years ago, that event is so fresh, and they tell it and live it and experience it as if it's happening now. And it's not. So our perception is so key to writing our story.